Welcome to LoveBytes, the show where we debug romance. Now, I am not a doctor. I am not a psychiatrist.
I am not a patient.
I don't have a degree in sociology or psychology, but what I do have is wealth of experience and a sincere desire to help you. Because sometimes love can get messy. And sometimes, if you're not careful, love bites. Oh man, welcome to LoveBytes. I am your host, Koibu, and with me is Ellohime, our guest. Elo, how are you doing, man?
I am doing absolutely wonderful. Thank you,
Yeah?
Neil, for having me.
No, thank you for coming on. We've been hit and missing this. Oh my god, is that wine?
Yes, I'm actually drinking it right from the bottle because my beard doesn't allow for a lot of cup drinking. So, yeah.
That's a problem. When you grow your beard, it becomes difficult to eat and drink. Surprisingly difficult to drink things. Actually.
Yes. Not without having like something there to like clean up everything afterwards.
I find ice cream to be the most frustrating because the tip of the mustache tends to dip into like my giant scoops of ice cream that I tried to shovel in my mouth.
That's called second ice cream.
Ooh.
You just right off the rest. Yes. Second ice cream.
Well, before we go any further with this conversation, tell me, Ellohime, why are you the perfect candidate to do LoveBytes? Why are you the chosen one? Why are you the best candidate we've ever had on, the best host we've ever had on the show?
Well, I've been drinking a little bit. There's that. I one time, I don't know how to answer this without bragging a little bit, but I one time maintained a good 5 seconds of eye contact with a woman.
With a woman?
With a woman, yeah, once at my college. She was on the other side of the cafeteria, and I looked up for my sandwich, and she was looking at me, and I looked back at her, and it was pretty magical. And in that moment, I knew then that I was qualified to help people with their problems when it comes to relationships. Afterwards, I realized she was mostly staring at my beard. I had a little bit of ketchup on the side, but I know deep down that there was more to it. And yeah.
I was going to ask if it was possible if she was looking at someone behind you, but the beard thing sounds real. That's close enough to eye contact.
Like her eyes were pointed towards me, but they were a little bit down. But I think that's because she was trying to look into my heart.
Perfect.
And so I'm definitely qualified, pretty much a doctor at this point, to help people with all sorts of sexual questions or relationship questions. I don't know. It makes sense to me.
Yeah. No, I think you're spot on. I think you have a real thing here.
Listen, I don't want to start this. Okay. The chat has called me out. Listen, it wasn't 5 seconds. Okay, you're right. It was like closer to 3 or 4, but I wasn't really counting. It was a very special moment.
I mean, in that time, it slows, it stretches, it dilates.
Yeah, I mean, it's like an eternity in just what could have been maybe 1 or 2 seconds.
So what you're saying is she glanced at your beard.
Listen. Can we start some of these questions?
Yeah. You know what?
That's fine.
We got our first question here from a 15-year-old in Australia. And our 15-year-old, who is anonymous, writes, I have had a relationship with a girl, and she was the light of my life. I personally have a passion for learning of history, so did she, and as you know, it's hard to find people that are not just interested in hedonism and leisure. Long story short, I effed things up and she moved 100 kilometers away due to family illnesses, which I don't think
What's the metric system that in miles?
50 miles. 50 miles away.
50 miles, okay.
Due to family issues. I at first thought of her all day and all night, just wishing I could redo things. I'm over it now. I'm ready to find another girl, but I cannot find a girl that is a classy gal. I'm an old world kind of guy where a girl cannot post nudes on Snapchat if I were to date. I cannot find any nice girls that have some kind of intelligence. I believe of this have grown. Yes, I believe of this have grown to be a cynic. It's a real sentence. I
Okay.
try my hardest to be respectful and nice to girls, but they tend to like raging douches with egos the size of Jupiter. I've asked a girl out but she refused when she went out with a loudmouth rugby player last week. How on earth do I find a nice girl that is intelligent when I'm surrounded by mostly the opposite? 15-year-old from Australia. Hello?
Old world 15-year-old from Australia. I like it. Well traveled, a gentleman among women. Um, it's kind of funny because growing okay, so serious time. Growing up, I was homeschooled and for part of my upbringing, so I was pretty shy. Uh, Around like 15 or 16, I was very much would what would be considered straight edge, I guess. And for those of you who don't understand that term, that means like no drugs, no drinking, no sex, no, none of that stuff. You pretty much just live a really pious life, I guess you should say. So I did find that, especially early on, especially when you're that young, girls typically they're not much looking for the personality of a man right off the bat. That helps, but women really like what pleases their eyes. They like the young guys with the abs, with the short haircuts, and the beard stubble, that kind of thing. It and I found that being nice to these girls normally ended in friend zone kind of situations, or I don't know. Basically, what I'm saying is, when it comes to women, and don't be mean, but women like a little bit of an asshole. You got to know how to like be like a classy asshole sometimes. And I think it turns off women a little bit. I'm saying women at 15 years old. I think it turns off girls a little bit when you're super nice to them or super attentive to them. Some of them really like and crave that attention. But especially the really good looking ones, I think it tends to kind of put them above you. And you don't ever want to put a girl like above you and kind of treat them in this, elevated state. You guys should be equals. So I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Neil?
I think you should get the fuck out of Australia. I think Australia is pretty much just the spawn of criminals, and you're only going to find criminal women in Australia. And if you want a real quality woman, you're going to have to leave the prison colony that we pretend we don't keep sending our prisoners to.
Is that your official answer? Stop dating criminals in your own country. No, you know what? Just don't. Another thing, just don't take things so seriously, man. You're 15. There's going to be plenty of women. Don't get hung up on this girl. It's easy to say for me now. At 15, every relationship you get into is such a big deal, but it really isn't. When you start, getting into hobbies, this is a big thing I tell everybody: get into charity, start a new hobby, reach out, start meeting new, groups of people, and things just kind of develop on their own. Don't go seeking it. Don't go looking for a girlfriend. You're never gonna find one. Just be you, have fun, let them come to you. So
Yeah, you're 15. This puts you at, I want to say, junior year of high school. You'll get a girlfriend at some point in your life, probably. Don't sweat about it, especially if you're looking for like the old soul who's already acting like a 35-year-old when you're 15. Like if you're looking for a girl like that, they're people like that, men or women, are rare. You're very uncommon if you're like, I don't want sex, I don't want to look at things, I just want to talk about Julius Caesar and Cleopatra and the love they had for each other and how it
why can't
shaped
we
the
be?
world today.
Yeah, why can't we spend more time talking about our feelings? I imagine
Yeah,
him going over to his house and he's got like the wine, like he's got the wine goblet and he's like, welcome to my abode. Like, I don't know. Yeah, just you know what you should really do if you're not into working out now, and a lot of people aren't. Okay, and I know that I'm kind of getting a little bit older now, and I have not worked out as much. But when I was like 15 to like 22, 23, it's good to have some health there, and working out and everything. Try to get yourself in a mode of running or working out or getting kind of more physically fit, because you kind of got to set the trap. You got to make it enticing for the girl to come in, and then you got to kind of tell her all the good things about you, without directly telling her. You got to show her that, and then once she falls in love with you a few months later, then you drop all the stupid shit and what an asshole you are later. But Yeah, I don't know. Getting physically fit is kind of good at that age because it's very superficial. It's very not there's not a lot.
It's like superficial, but
The
it's still good
initial,
for you. Like,
yeah, it's good for you
there's
in a
nothing
lot of
wrong with
ways.
getting in better health. It's
Yeah,
attractive to everyone around you, and it improves you.
yeah. My
Encouragement's
my
there.
moves right now are revolting.
Yeah,
Okay, they don't.
but
I don't like
but
them.
also, like, if you're this old of a soul, you're probably not going to find anyone like that. You're probably going to have to wait until you're in college or after college. Like, if that's where your standards are, dude, just focus on the things that you enjoy. Forget about the girlfriends, boyfriends. They're not going to happen. It's so rare to find people that age that are interested in something that mature. You're on your own. Enjoy life for the meantime, and good luck. Come back in 10 years, and old man Neil
Yeah,
and old
honestly, in
man
like in
Noah will
like in
take
like
care of you.
5 years, you'll come back and you'll go, man, that was so that was so like ridiculous, and I can't believe the way I felt about that. And like you're changing so much at that age that getting hung up on one girl is definitely not. I wouldn't say it's not a good way to live your life.
Yeah.
I tell you that now after being hung up on girls when I was in high school, but yeah,
Well, aren't we all?
yeah, I guess we are.
Yeah. I mean, it's high school. What else are you gonna do, right? Study.
Yeah, yeah, this is true.
All right, let's move on. Question number 2. Hi, Neil and guest. Recently, I just left university during my second year after being miserable, partly due to not enjoying my course, computer science, and location, densely populated city. I've had to start thinking about which direction my life will take, and which has led me to asking very fundamental questions about what I want and why I'm here, i.e., the meaning of life. I've mainly come to the conclusion that we do not know why we're here, or if it is if there's an afterlife slash any meaning to all of this. So I will do what I feel and enjoy. This has led to predictably romantic desires, obviously, as well as career choices and such, but I'm finding it very difficult to accidentally stumble upon a woman that I like. Ever since I went to university and conditioned myself to be indifferent to gender, just like race and wealth, when considering or when making conversation and being friends with people. However, because of my interest, being a gamer and a computer geek, the places I have to go have a very uneven ratio of men to women. So I find myself in a very frustrating position of wanting to be in a romantic relationship, but also wanting to be genuine and integral. What can I do to help myself? Or is more of a question of how to deal with the frustration. Becoming passionate about something slash a person's goal doesn't always work because I do that anyway. Becoming passionate about something slash a person's goal doesn't work because I do that anyway. Do not read this part in case of trolls. For possible response questions, I am making my name, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, where did he say he was at in his
All right.
schooling, or did he
So
say how old he
he
was at the
he
beginning?
bailed second year in college.
Okay, just
Um,
typical. There's
he's
a lot
come
of people.
to figure out that there is no meaning to life, and so he's just going to do what he wants to do.
Okay,
And he's finding it hard to stumble across a woman that he likes because ever since I went to university, I've conditioned myself to be indifferent to gender when making conversations and being friends with people. I don't know what that has to do with anything.
well, it sounds like he's doing a lot of soul searching, which is
Yeah.
kind of typically what happens around that age, anyways. Not to echo the last person's advice, but getting involved with charities or other hobbies, reaching out. There's actually a lot out there. Usually, I don't know where exactly everybody is, but usually there's a lot more out in the community than people understand. There's a lot of clubs. There's a lot of things that you can do, especially in groups with people, and this really opens up your realm of friends. Sounds like he doesn't. It sounds like he's not looking for a girl that he just likes. He probably has met a lot of girls that he likes, that he can get
Mm-hmm.
along with.
Mm-hmm.
Probably what he's looking for is a girl that's he's going to be able to relate with and really feel something for. But the question here is should you be worrying about having that deep relationship and connection with women when you don't have that deep relationship and connection with yourself right now?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the truth of it. I really, not to be cliche, but you can't love anyone until you love yourself, kind of thing. You have to have at least a comfortable and confident understanding of who you are and where you're at, especially before you pull another person and expect them to want to be a part of everything that you are. If you're really looking for somebody to like really settle down with, I don't know, Neil. What's up, man?
Dude, you nailed this on the head. Um, you gotta like yourself before anyone else will like you. If you're in a position where other people aren't liking you, maybe you're. Well, maybe not. Maybe that's a terrible way of starting things off. Okay, I was gonna go down a really trolly road, and I'm gonna back out of it.
Why do I feel like the Dr. Drew and you feel like the Adam Carolla here? You're the guy that he's like Dr. Drew says something very like straightforward and meaningful, and then Adam Carolla's like, does she have big tits? I love it.
Yeah, dude, just look, you like nerd and gaming culture and you're having trouble finding girls in there, welcome to the fucking world, man. That's what all of us have to deal with or have had to deal with. Some of us have made successes in that region.
Don't abandon what you love to do because you don't think there's a girl out there that'll accept that part of you. Like I find that a lot of people in the gaming community. I used to be the president of our gaming club at my college. Okay, so I dealt with a lot of people, that what you consider nerd or geeky. We're talking about the tabletop gaming type, video games, comic books, that kind of thing. So don't abandon those things because they're not cool. Actually, I would argue that being involved in that kind of stuff in these days is getting much, much, much more socially acceptable.
Totally.
The geek now, the nerd now, is not the geek and nerd that was from the 80s or the 90s. We're totally well, not totally accepted, but we're much more accepted. And in fact, cool in some regard. So don't abandon those parts because the thing is that another thing I see in a lot of relationships, people typically they think, oh, this isn't attractive to the other sex, so maybe I'll tone this down in front of them. Don't play video games with the girls. Yeah, in front of girls, that kind of thing. Like the thing is that if you're going to get with this girl, you're eventually going to be spending a lot of time with her, and you're going to want to play video games and do those things, those geeky things that you wanted to do. So I would just be honest and upfront about it. Yeah, I play video games. Yeah, I got to know my girlfriend playing pen and paper Dungeons and Dragons for the very first time, just because I wanted to, 3 years ago. So, yeah, that's pretty much where I stand with it.
Yeah. I would say, dude, that if you're already involved in gaming stuff, because you say that at the end he says, becoming passionate about something / personal goal doesn't work because I do that anyway. Like, if you're already into gaming culture and geek culture and you're looking for a girl who's into that sort of thing too, you're already taking the right steps. Now it's just a matter of meeting people in that community and finding one that you like. And it'll happen unless you're a total raging asshole who no one ends up liking and then you don't end up liking anyone else. Like, if you're a reasonable person in the area that you're passionate and interested in, eventually at some point you'll run into someone that you like. It may take a while. Love doesn't happen overnight, but you're in the right area, dude. Just keep plugging away. Also, try not to think about it. It helps, like, I find that if I'm in the situation where I'm looking for a girlfriend, I will not find a girlfriend. When I'm in the situation where I'm looking to find a friend, I find a girlfriend. So stop, you need to not be, you don't want to be evaluating each girl that you interact with as, would this person make a good girlfriend? Let's talk with them. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not. That thing that she said over there, maybe that reveals something about her in this way. Fuck
yeah,
that,
it's not a job interview, it's not like, all right, qualifications time. How do you feel about video games?
You don't go out looking for a girlfriend. You meet a person and then you bond with them, and then that bond grows into something that becomes a girlfriend. Like,
and then your penis grows, and then your penis goes inside of your girlfriend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a natural process.
Yeah. This is if you don't a girlfriend is not a thing that you acquire and now you have a girlfriend and you put her on your trophy shelf, right? Like, a girlfriend, it's a relationship that grows between people. It's not a person. You're not looking for this person. You're looking for this relationship. This connection between two people, and that's something that has to grow. You can't just take it because it's a living thing. It changes. So find something and then grow a relationship with them. Stop evaluating people as girlfriends and just look at people as friends and make a friend.
They're not objects, okay? Women are people, all right?
Well, to be fair, they're also tangible objects. You can hold them, you can lift them, you can throw them downstairs. You shouldn't, but you can.
I never hold my girlfriend, okay? I don't ever lift her. I don't ever throw her.
She is an object too. She is allowed to be.
I show no love to my girlfriend, and then I'm like, let's have sex, and then it's a lot. It happens a lot of the time.
Can you give me a step-by-step process here? Because I'm not sure how it goes down.
I do a lot of this. Mm-hmm. I wake her up. She goes like this to me. I start to take off my pants while I'm simultaneously trying to take off her pants. She's too tired really to resist fully. And I start to go have sex, and then I realize I can't get it up. So I fall asleep next to her with my pants down around my knees, and she wakes up with her pants down to her knees also, and we're not sure if we actually had sex or not. We just assume we did. And we're okay with that.
You live a very good life, my friend.
And that's love. And that's love, people. That's what the show's all about.
Well done.
Thanks, man. Next question. Ella, what are your qualifications to help these people? Well, I can be really honest with them.
All right, we've got this next question comes from someone who says, I've actually got two questions. Number one.
First of all, they're breaking the rules, but go ahead.
I am nearly 2 months away from being 19 and have yet to experience my first kiss. Is this a normal thing or is there something wrong? 2. What do you do if you're only crushing on a celebrity and while you want to get their attention, you realize it's pretty stupid because they already have a ton of people trying to get themselves noticed? Boom.
Let's live in reality for a moment, okay? Living in reality and having a good perception of yourself is very, very, very important.
Yes, Ellohime and I will both date you.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
At the same time, we will.
Your feelings have been heard, and Azure Fire 2001. Yes, I will. I say yes. Yes, let's do this. No. What was I going to say? Okay. Do I think it's normal to have not have kissed by the age of 19? The answer is, to me, is no. I don't find that to be normal, but that doesn't mean that that's wrong, because I think he asked, is it normal and is it wrong, or is it bad? What was exactly what he said?
She asked, I'm nearly 2 months away from being 19 and have yet to experience my first kiss. Is this a normal thing or is there something wrong?
See, that's the thing is, I don't necessarily think that's normal, but I don't think it's wrong. I think it's totally fine. I think that especially in American society, sexualism is really pushed to the max. And I don't think that anybody should move any faster than they want to. What happens typically is that people do move faster because they feel the need to, because it becomes this importance in high school between movies and, commercials. Everything in the media tells you, oh, it's so cool to, whatever. And you got a lot of people, going to the point, and all that stuff. But being comfortable and moving at your own pace is way more important than being what society deems as normal. And I think it's actually beneficial for a lot of people to wait. Neil, you look like you're kind of like,
I got something to say here.
Okay, go for it.
My first kiss was 10 days before my 19th birthday.
There you go.
And I'm getting married in like 36 days, so it can happen to you too. You're fine. You're gonna be great. Don't worry about it, dude or dudette. Who cares? Yeah, it's fine. 19. Who cares? It doesn't even matter. Not a non-issue. Totally non-issue.
Yeah, it really is a non-issue. It really isn't. I wouldn't really concern yourself with the actions of other people. Move at your own pace. Meet somebody like we've been talking about organically, and if you feel like you want to kiss them, then whenever the guy nuts up and goes in for a kiss, then
That was also very unexpected. Like 4 days before that, I would never have even thought I would be anywhere near a point where I'd be kissing a girl for probably like a year. I had just gotten out of this terrible, terrible relationship that had lasted a year and a half without kissing, by the way.
Wait, hold on a second. The fact that you just said it was a terrible, terrible relationship, I was like, wait, he was in a relationship before he got his first kiss? I was like, I wonder how long. You're trying to half on me there?
Year and a half.
Are you sure that you were in a relationship and she wasn't? Because you're like, that's my girlfriend. It's like, hey, Julie. And she's just like, they're like, who is that, Julie? Like, I don't know. I don't know who that is. He keeps calling me his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Sorry, Neil. I'm sorry.
It was from the time I was 17 to 18 and a half or so. Something roughly in that region. For a year and a half, no kisses whatsoever. Come out completely destroyed as a human being, feeling that I'm the most worthless being on the face of the planet because there was a girl I was interested in who was interested in me, and after a year of pursuing her, like being together for a year and a half, there was still like no kisses. I'm like, what is wrong with me? And I'm some terrible monster. And then I meet this other girl, kind of things spark right away. Things are fantastic. We end up clearly with the
that's
kisses, and then she moves 4 days later. Like, we had this 1 week long whirlwind romance that completely changed my entire life from being like, I am a pathetic individual that will never find happiness ever, to fuck it, life's awesome.
yeah, and I'm surprised, and I did this a lot with my relationships. My life and my happiness hinged on the status of my relationship with the person I was with, or with the person that I was infatuated with. If they didn't like me, I didn't like me, or if they, if there's something wrong in the relationship, I felt like something was wrong, or if they mistreated me, I thought even sometimes that might be normal. The fact is that finding two people who are compatible to begin with is really, 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 really tough. So, like, I would say, a large portion of the relationships out there, the people that in them aren't really necessarily compatible. It doesn't mean that they can't make it work, but you kind of have to understand that, the person that you're getting with, especially right off the bat, there's a good chance that you guys are probably not really meant for each other in a lot of senses. So if that starts to kind of take that kind of turn, like Neil was saying, where don't get caught up on what was this relationship, because you, like Neil said, you can meet somebody else and it totally, like, whoa, I didn't even know, mind blown, I had no idea. So like I said, don't put a lot of emphasis on the other person. Anyways, back to this girl's question. Listen, don't worry about it. Whether you kiss somebody or not is not a big deal. If it's something that you're interested in, something that you're 19, you're gonna be going to college, maybe, you're getting into those years. You're gonna find somebody you like, who's gonna like you, and you're gonna kiss them, and it's gonna happen. It's chemical, it's natural, it's fine. It's not so. You might as well worry. It's like the same worrying as whether or not you can, wake up in the morning. Am I going to wake up in the morning? Yeah, it's
to
a
be
natural.
honest, I had a close friend in college who wasn't a close friend at first. She was one of my students in one of my ballroom classes, because I was teaching at. I wasn't in college, I should say. She was in college. I was teaching the class. Who like had this big crush on me, and I like turned her down, and then she just kind of like didn't date anyone for the rest of college, and came out of college being like, oh my god, I stopped pursuing people after I got turned down by you, and I ended up like going through all of college without dating anyone or like even kissing anyone. What the fuck? So while he's saying this, don't worry about it, take your time, relax, but when you're in the position to be able to meet people, go ahead and meet people. Don't like sit so far back that you wait for something to come to you. You do need to go towards these things, but you don't need to be like ever vigilant watching and waiting, because then when you do, you're going to be tired and exhausted and cranky, and it's not going to work out. So chill out, but when the opportunity comes, go for it. You got to like
be ready to accept relationships as they come to you. Some people can't do that. Some people can't accept relationships with people as they come to them. They either put up a wall or whatever, but be open to those kind of things. Yeah. Or you can be like Neil and break a girl's heart through ballroom dancing. I like that story.
No. There was no heartbreaking, actually.
Oh, well, maybe.
If there was, she's been
hiding
it
from me
for years. Yeah. I actually didn't know who she was until she asked me out, and then I was like, I'm sorry, you're one of my students, and I don't actually know your name. No.
Yeah.
But it turns out we're great friends, which is fantastic. But on to part two of her question. Yeah. What do you do if you're only crushing on a celebrity, and while you want to get their attention,
we totally skipped over all that. Yeah. I've never really crushed on a celebrity like that hard. I mean, come on, we all have like our top 5 lists, both men and women, of who we would if we had to or if we wanted to. So I get it, but like I've never really felt like my obsession with a persona or a celebrity ever got in the way of pursuing people in my real life. So I don't really know how to answer that I
get your answer.
Okay, go for it, Neil.
Do you like Hearthstone? This is the first question. Because if you do, Trump once sent in a question asking, how do I use my status as a popular celebrity or a popular streamer to get girls? There's an opening there. You can take that.
Wait. Hold on a second. Neil. Wait. I'm sorry. Trump sent in a question of how you can use celebrity
status to get girls.
Man, this is like, you just opened my eyes to a whole new thing that I haven't even thought about. Because I've been with Cora the whole time I've been streaming, and I've been so attached to my girlfriend. I love her. I love everything. We just had a kid, and now I'm starting to think, like, how can you use your celebrity? How is being a Twitch broadcaster can open you to possibilities of meeting other women? That's insane. Now that's I gotta think about this, man.
So if
That's
you like Hearthstone, good luck. If you don't like
there's a young
Hearthstone,
Asian gentleman out there who's quite popular in the Hearthstone scene who is maybe or maybe not looking for some romantic. That's so funny, man. Dude, I love Trump too.
yeah,
He's like a budding social person, you know. It's. I remember being on a call with him playing Hearthstone
uh
back
huh,
when I streamed it, and we were playing, and I was talking to this guy and everything. I started to realize like this is a very shy person. This is like a very not necessarily like this is a very like how am I going to say this? Particular, maybe like calculated kind of person, and they think about what they say before they say it, and all that stuff, and it's fun to see. It's fun to watch him grow in popularity because I see his personality starting to come out. You got the prison Trump, you got all his little trolls and his jokes. He's a funny guy.
yeah,
Uh, oh man.
dude,
I would say, but regardless of where we're going with that,
yeah,
base yourself in reality, though. That's what I would say. If it's like a legit celebrity, listen, I'm not saying it's not going to happen. It could happen. You could go to a convention, see Jason Momoa, and he might binge you over one of the tables when no one's looking. I'm just saying it can happen. I'm just saying don't obsess over it. I would enjoy from afar, post picture, learn Photoshop because you can take their faces and you can put them on bodies of other men that are perhaps naked or showing abs or whatever. I mean, that's what I did with all my celebrity crushes growing up, and it seemed to work out okay.
yeah. Also, it's real. Like, let's say you got yourself in a room alone with this person, and you had an hour of their undivided attention for whatever reason. It's gonna be fucking awkward because like, oh hi, oh you're that person from chat. Yeah, I see your name around sometimes, and then you know everything about them. You're like, oh yeah, how was this thing? How was that thing? What like? It's a very one-directional relationship, and when you're trying to overcome that one-directional nature of it, it's really, really fucking hard. So, I would say if you're going to crush on a celebrity and you want to make something happen, you can't let them know that you're a fan. You should figure out what they do, their kind of their habits and patterns. That way, you can run into them more naturally in a situation and meet them outside of that environment, and then pretend that you don't know them from their streaming days. So you might have to do like a little research on them, find out where they live, where they work, how they commute to these places, and then just insert yourself into their life in some way that you can just kind of stumble upon a natural course of action.
Yeah. What's funny is I find that people who obsess over other people, like celebrities or icons or anything like that, if they ever do get to meet them, they're the most likely to not become close to them. Because you again, you set them up on a pedestal, they become somebody else to you, and it just like okay. So I have a very, very, very small, minute amount of fame here in our very small niche community, right?
Mm-hmm.
The people that I find that I hang out with the least are the people that fanboy and fangirl me the most. Like, if you just come up to me like, "Hey, Ellohime, what's going on?" Shake my hand, whatever. Oh, what are you doing today? Like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I met people at PAX. Thanks, man.
I'm gonna send you an invoice because I didn't have your pen.
Gotcha. Sorry, I just got beer delivered to me. Cheers, everybody. But I find that the people that really don't treat me like a person, they treat me like they're they're I
Idle.
don't know idle. Yeah, I find that I don't necessarily I don't mind talking to them and whatever, but if they're like, hey, you want to hang out later? I'm like, maybe not.
It's
Like
really awkward when
it
someone is
is.
fanboying over you and not trying to connect with you as an individual.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. It's a personal connection with somebody. When you
yeah,
make that, you want that to be natural. You want it to be because you have some kind of merit in the person, not because of what they represent.
yeah.
And it's tough though. It's tough. I mean, I do the same thing.
But
You know,
you
I
can meet in Twitch level celebrities pretty easily and get to be hang out with them socially. Like I before I knew in control from roleplay, like I had met him at a couple different events randomly and like had a conversation and chatted with him, and like I ran into Scoots and Marcus a few times. Like we hung out and had like a nice time and a nice conversation because we weren't fanboying about it. I was like, hey, what do you think about this match? And then we talked about the StarCraft game in front of us, and then we went out to dinner and like we were just like hanging out. So you gotta like if you gotta go to a convention where these people are, and then run into them and treat them normally. Like don't the some people didn't catch that I was joking earlier when I said study their life, figure out their habits, and insert yourself into it. That's like a criminal offense. You can get jailed for that. Please don't do that.
you know it's
Uh,
really funny that you mentioned In Control.
huh.
because sometimes you can be too casual with a person too.
Oh yeah.
I believe, yeah, and I think that I did that. Well, here's the thing: is that when I started my Twitch, I started about a year and a half ago on Twitch. I don't have a background in the game industry. I don't come from a big YouTube or anything. I don't watch Twitch. I don't go watch videos on YouTube. I don't know a lot of these people who were pillars in the community before I even showed up. And I spent a lot of time growing my stream and being very isolated in what I did, and until I started kind of reaching out. Well, I went to this SOE meetup at PAX East. And In Control was there, and I walked up to him like, "Hey man, what's going on?" Like he was just standing there, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" I shook his hand, and I'm like, "Oh," I was like, "Do you are you a YouTuber? Do you stream?" And he just looked at me and goes, "Yes." Like, "Yes, I do." I'm like, and then I'm like, and then I think I said out loud, I was like, "Oh," I was like, "You're probably a big deal, aren't you?" Like, I don't even know who you are. Like, I met him, kind of met him, said hey, and we kind of, shot the shit kind of back and forth for a little bit. But I think the casualness of me being like, "Oh, you're a big deal. I didn't even know about," right? So, hey, what's going on, man? Whatever. I think it kind of it made me feel like I offended him because I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
So I just saw this really big, huge dude standing next to me, and I was like, "You look pretty cool. What's going on, man?" Like, so I always felt really bad about that. And I've talked to him since then, like SOE Live and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's super cool. Had a few drinks with him. Great guy. But like when I first met him, I didn't know who he was, and I really felt bad about that. So. Just the way he's like, it's like, "Do you YouTube? Do you, do you?" He's like, "Yes." And then they're like, "He was on a reality show." Somebody said like he's on a reality show, and I was like, "I don't know stars and celebrities." Anyways, hey, can we take a second to cheers for everybody in the chat? Everybody, water or Tigger, T-I-double-G.
Oh yeah, Tigger. Didn't even realize.
Yeah, coffee.
Oh.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Hey, look, it's a test raid.
It's empty, but okay. Yeah. Yeah. The other solution is if you have their email address, you can send them nude photos. You have my email address, right?
Yeah, that's a good way to break the ice. Just get the naked bodies right out there forefront.
Yeah, don't do that. My fiance will kill me.
Sarcasm. Beep 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 beep. Sarcasm. Please don't send me nudes. That's like I want to have to explain is why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
already have no dick pics sent at me.
All right, new question. Ready? Ready for it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Have either of you ever been depressed? If so, how did you deal with it? Short and simple. How do you deal with your depression, Ello?
That is a very, very, very funny question.
What?
Because I
that?
actually went through a bout of depression very recently.
Oh.
I for those of you who don't know and you haven't seen my broadcast, whatever, I'm usually a pretty, jolly guy. I like to have a good time, but in my life, and not to whine or anything, but because I was asked, I have dealt with a lot of panic attacks. I've dealt with a lot of depression in my life. I have a hard time holding a job for most of my life because of it. I feel like Twitch is one of the only things I can do, honestly, because I have so much anxiety. Like I said, that I have a really hard time keeping a steady job. I've never had a job outside of Twitch. And I'm 29 years old now. I've never had a job longer than maybe 4 or 5 months. And I think that was like one time I had a job for like 5 months. Recently, I went through a little bit of a depression. I just had a kid. The stream's growing quite a bit. I feel a little bit of pressure coming from a lot of different angles. People wanting my attention, people wanting me to put on, a good broadcast, Cora's wanting help with the baby, and a lot of that stuff really packed up on me. I feel like everybody has a way of dealing with depression. Some people need to talk to other people. Some people need to kind of look inward. For me, since you're asking me, I tend to go inward and I kind of hibernate for a little while, and I really try to explore what is bothering me, and then I try to make changes about those things or towards those things. And it's a hard thing to do, first of all, to realize you're depressed sometimes. Sometimes you don't even know you're depressed. Sometimes you don't understand the impact of things that are happening around you until some time goes by, weeks, a month maybe, and you go, oh my God, I'm really being rude to other people. I'm short tempered. I'm not having fun. What am I doing? I recently just took a week off from Twitch, just out of the blue. I wasn't answering messages from people. I wasn't hitting Twitter. And the more that I felt from this social media, almost added to my anxiety, and I was missing streams. And it's like when you miss a stream, it's like missing a job, like missing a day at your job or a class. And when you miss a class, you miss everything you got in that class, and then like it accumulates. You don't want to go to the next class because you're already behind, but it only makes it worse. So what I do is like I said, I take time to look inward. I find out my problems, and then once I find them, I try to make changes to make my life more fun and more laid back and stuff. So typically I that's pretty much how I deal with depression. That's not a good answer for everybody though, so I don't want you to think that everybody can just deal with their problems. This is something that I've learned over years and years and years and years of getting to know myself and going through issues. If you don't know, if you're not confident that you know how to, fix yourself or find a way to make yourself happy, then really talking to somebody, maybe even a professional, is a route that you can take, or a close personal friend. Maybe getting a different perspective on your life or how you're treating people or things that are happening around you can help you make changes too. That's me though. Neil, how do you deal with things?
I don't usually get depressed. Like it's happened a few times, but never like clinical depression, never chronic or acute depression, never like something that is so serious that it's impacting my life to the point that I can't function, or if that's the case, no more than for like a couple days at a time, right? It's always very low level, so I don't have this as a constant issue. But when I get like really out of it or really in a mood where I just can't deal with people, I my go-to thing is I go into my room and I play video games by myself, or I watch a movie that I really like. I'll watch Starship Troopers, or oh my god, I'm blanking on the movie name right now. Whatever, it's a good movie. You should watch it. I kind of just do the things that I really
I'm
like
doing
to
my
do,
part.
and then yeah, I'm doing my part. Are you doing yours? Join up with the Federation today and do your part.
I love it.
Oh my god, have you seen the third one?
I haven't seen number 2 or 3, but
Don't
when I
don't bother
was
with number two. It's terrible.
okay, okay.
Number three is the sort of movie that you should watch. And up until the last 10 minutes, you're going to be like, why the fuck did Neil tell me to watch this? It's so bad, it's not even good. I guess at least they have this one thing in here that's kind of like, I kind of like it because of how blah, blah, blah. And then you see the end and you're like, what the fuck? That entire movie was amazing and I didn't realize it.
That's awesome. I can't wait to watch it.
It's
When I
just,
was like
it's terrible. It's awful. I hate that movie, but you should totally see it. It's so good.
growing up, I wasn't allowed to watch rated R movies until I was 17. I mean, that was the rule. Once you hit 17, you're allowed to watch rated R movies. Until then, absolutely not. And I was 16 years old when that movie came out. 15 or 16. The first movie, Starship Troopers. And I wanted to see it so bad. I just thought it looked so cool and I wanted to see it. And I was just like, oh. And I remember as soon as I turned 17, the first thing I did was go to Blockbuster Video and grab Starship Troopers. And it was not the first rated R movie I'd ever seen, but it was the first legitimate rated R movie I had ever seen. And I thought it was absolutely amazing.
Pride and
like,
Prejudice is the other one that you should go see.
Pride and Prejudice, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I like it. Like, another thing to say about the depression, or getting into depression, I said reaching out to people. If you have family or friends, involve them in what is going on with you. Sometimes is a really good thing. I like Neil's thing. I played more video games in the week that I wasn't streaming than when I do stream. I was playing Dota 2. I was playing all these indie games. I was just playing constantly because it helps me think. It helps me relax, all that good stuff. But really reaching out to the people who care about you is a really important thing. And, I've even reached out to my stream before because I know there's people out there that care about me. Not that I need to have long conversations, but sometimes I feel like vocalizing like I just did that I have depression and realizing it and saying that to people almost is a freeing kind of experience too.
It really is. Being able to
it takes it off you.
talk to people and unload the things that are on you really helps, as long as it doesn't become this like twisted thing where you're getting the enjoyment of telling people about things and then you look forward to having a bad thing to tell someone. That's a sick situation. I have been in that situation before, actually, where I've been so upset, and then I have someone that listens, and then the things I like look for things that are shitty about my life, so that way I can unveil it was twisted section of life. Don't worry about it; it's moved on. But like that shit's scary. You want to be able to release things cathartically without becoming too interested in that release.
And I'll say something to kind of follow up on that. This is the last thing I'll say about it really, is, and I didn't realize I was doing this until my mother pointed it out, okay? Do not get addicted to being a victim.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that they are addicted to being a victim. I was addicted to bad things happening to me and then sulking in it. Like I understood more than other people because I had been through so many bad things and oh man, I'm such a victim. Oh, woe is me. And I liked the attention from people coming to me going, Adam, are you all right? Like, what's going on? Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going through some stuff right now. And you can really get addicted to being a victim. Yeah. And I think that for those people who it's hard to identify in yourself that you're doing that, but take some time and really ask yourself that. Am I addicted to the feeling that people are giving me, the attention people are giving me just because I'm walking around depressed?
Yeah. Yeah, that's no good.
And,
that's a bad place to be. It kind of feels fun, but then years will pass and you'll be like, holy shit, what have I done with my life? And then you'll actually be depressed. And then no one will listen to you because you've been playing the victim for so long.
Yeah.
All right.
Good luck. Good luck to that person. I just want to say that too. Good luck to genuinely. It's a tough battle, and just don't feel like you're the only person, upset. There are other people out there, and people are going through a lot of different situations, some, in varying degrees, and people who can take varying degrees of things. So if some small things upset you, don't even feel about that. If some big things don't, good luck, happy for you. But yeah, anyways, good luck.
Oh shit, where did that question go? Oh, here we go. New question. Dear Neil and Ello, what should I do when my wife wants to dildo my butt? She's super into that stuff, and I'm afraid it will hurt. She also has a fascination with my nipples. Is this normal? Please help. Thanks, Pandermon1C. Pandermon, it's totally normal. Don't say no. Use lots of lube. It's fine. Let her play with your nipples. You're going to like it later. Enjoy it.
It's really funny that we're getting into this conversation right now because Cora has, Cora's, not to reveal too much of my relationship, but Cora's never been a super kinky person, okay? It's never been like, or, something's happened all of a sudden, I'm like, who's putting the finger in my butt kind of thing? Like, what are you doing down there? It's never been that way. And I've never been with a woman that's attempted to. But we were actually talking the other day. I said, what would we do? I wonder if it would change our relationship if you were into things that I really was not into. Like if she was into something like that was just mentioned, like nipple play and all that stuff. And I was like, what would it do to our sex life? Like how much would it change our relationship and our dynamic? Because as much as I want to tell you like, oh, it's normal, and it is normal. Like it's you know what? Being sexual with your partner, as long as you're not hurting other people or everything, I'm pretty much just like do whatever you want to do, like have fun, really explore things too, like go for it. But as much as I'm saying that, if I had a girlfriend that was like, I want to put a dildo in your butt, I'm not for it. I don't like it. Now, here's really what it comes down to.
Have you tried it?
Me? No, I've never. How
do you know you don't like it?
Exactly, and that's always the thing. Is how do you know you don't like it?
See, that's
here's, and I get that, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Is even though I'm saying, like explore with your partner, I'm like sitting here kind of hypocritical, because I'm like going, but I ain't, like that kind of thing. But I've always really loved the feel of vagina. I've always been really into that, and I've never really needed to go beyond or get too crazy with that. But I can see what some people say. Here's what it really relies on. Are there not other alternatives for your wife to get to where she wants to go sexually? Is this the only route that you guys have? Like, is this something that's hinging on her sexual experience? Because there's some things that I like to do that don't necessarily like, okay, I could get a blowjob, right? I could get a blowjob, and I like blowjobs, but I'm just as happy having sex. Vaginal sex. I'm cool with that too. So like, is this something that like, oh, she only gets off when she's able to do this to me? Is she not reaching this peak? Or are there other avenues that you guys can explore that get her to these places? This is one
Talk
of
to your
those
wife,
things, man.
dude.
Yep, talk to your
Talk to
wife.
your wife. Like what you need to do here is so without even talking about what the specifics are, she wants to do something in the bedroom that you're uncomfortable with, and the conversation that you need to have is like, well, how important is this to you? If it's this important, you know what? Let's try it. We're going to go super slowly. I'll tell you when I want to stop. And when I say stop, you had better stop. And then you kind of like approach this and do it kind of. Maybe you're like, okay, I really don't want a dildo up my ass. This is not something I want to do. But you're my wife and I love you. And if for you, I would try it once. And we'll take our time. Like, be open to trying new experiences. Yeah, that doesn't mean you have to take a dildo in your butt every single night of the week. But if it's your wife
But
and
we
she
suggest you
really
do.
wants to, I suggest that you try out new things in life, regardless of whether it's dildo in the butt or she's pissing on your face or whatever it is. Like if that's something that your wife is really into, maybe you'll find that she does it in a way that you're really into too. Maybe
It's
it could change your life tomorrow. Not tomorrow. A month from now, a year from now, you could be hosting a swingers club. Your life could take a drastic turn for the better. Who knows?
For the better.
Who
That's because
knows?
everyone who doesn't aspire to be the swing, the swing master, the master of swingers. No,
Dude, it's your private relationship with your wife. You should enjoy it. She should enjoy it. If you're resistant to something, talk with her about it, dude. What are you doing talking to us about your wife wanting to stick a dildo in your ass? Go talk to your wife. Work this out with her. Enjoy your time with her.
Here's something I would point out. If you're not trying it because simply the stereotype that comes along with guys getting something put in their ass having to be homosexual, I think you're not trying for the wrong reasons.
If you don't like something in your butt because there's a giant object in your ass and it's ripping your asshole apart and you're bleeding, that's a valid reason.
That is a valid reason,
but
okay?
It's gay if
I don't want anything big or small in my butt because it fucking hurts, okay?
Yeah.
Listen.
That's a legitimate reason.
Yeah, like I don't want anything to go in there. It gives me no pleasure. It does not comfortable. It sucks. I don't give a shit. Like I don't. Anyways, but I'm just saying that if you're doing it because there's a stereotype of like, oh man, you have that with you. Oh yeah, you're so homosexual with your wife over there. Like
oh yeah,
yeah, that macho thing. The whole stereotype that goes along with guys. I've gotten in long conversations with people who are very close to me, who are guys that are married that enjoy that kind of thing, and it doesn't make them any different or anything like that. So if you don't want to do it, don't do it for the right reasons.
Yeah. But at the same time, if there's no real reason why you're super terrified of this, you should try new things. Outside of the bedroom too, try new things in life. You will be amazed at what you do.
Wait, this is pandemonic?
Is that what it's called? Yeah, pandemonic. I called them Pandemon 1.
Man, pandemonic. What's up, man? It's one of my subs. Listen, bro, we'll go into this more on my stream. Okay, we'll talk about this. This is a tricky situation. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's tough.
But talk on Ellohime stream after this, guys. All right, we'll go.
Love.
All right, next question. This is one that we were going to do last week, but it's literally, figuratively 10,000 words. I will actually get a word count in just a moment because I'm curious. It's a very long question, so I read it ahead of time. And I'm going to, word count.
This is one of those things that somebody really put the time in to like really explain.
Oh, yeah.
I like these because these people are like genuine. Like they're in there. Yeah,
1,900 words. All right, so this is
it's like an essay.
It's like a 6-page essay or something. 4-page, 5-page essay.
That's longer than like 90% of the college papers I put in.
So, huge bout of history where he was in high school and he was having these friends and there was this girl and he was into her and he tried to tell her, but then something else happened and someone else did something and it turned into a mess, blah, blah, blah. And he's also really shy and super insecure and easily embarrassed. Okay, so shitty attempt at dating a girl in high school, fell, crashed and burned. He was obsessed with her for years. not obsessed might be putting it strong, but into her for years. He goes to university. First year doesn't go so well. He starts losing his friends. Second year comes along. Most of his friends are gone. But there's this girl who last year was kind of into something he was doing. Like he was writing runes, like Lord of the Rings types runes, with this one
Mhm.
person, and then someone threw a note and landed on his desk, and it was written in like runes, but actual like real runes, not Tolkien runes. And they had this connection over this geek nerd culture. And then she invited him to go hang out with her friends because she saw that he stopped hanging out with his friends, and now they're like starting to hang out with her friends, but they're just hanging out, and he's really fucking worried that he's going to screw it up or it's going to be too much pressure. Basically, he doesn't know how to handle the pressure of asking out a girl that he likes, and this is the first girl that he's liked in a while that he really, really likes. And, well, he's
That's
pretending he doesn't
awesome.
like her. He's like, oh, what if I develop feelings towards her? He has feelings about her. He just doesn't realize it yet, or he's unwilling to put it to word.
I love that's such like
I can send you the email if you want to read it afterwards.
dude, I want to read the whole thing. I
All
mean
right.
that is such a nice that's such a cool way to meet a chick. Like she gave you some Lord of the Rings hieroglyphics and you had to decipher them and shit. That's cool. That's the kind of natural relationship kind of things that come out of nowhere that we're talking about, you know, like that kind of thing. Like some girl sees what you were doing, she knows that you have a common ground and throws you a little note. That's very cool. Here's what I'm gonna say though.
Do it.
Don't try to fly before you can crawl. And by saying that, I mean when you start, like, okay, here's another analogy. When you start to build a house, you don't start with the walls and the roof. You start with the foundation. And what I would really do is I would really attempt to spend some time working on your social anxiety or shyness or your becoming more apt in social context. Does that make sense, Neil? What I'm trying to
Yeah.
say?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that being able I don't think you should be worrying about girls and getting in relationship with girls and starting these really intricate, very complicated relationships when you're having a hard time just talking to people. So I would suggest start talking to people. Like start working on the social aspect of yourself. And once you start developing that and when you start building these relationships, start becoming more comfortable, when these opportunities, and this is an opportunity, pops up, you're not going to question or ask why or anything. You're going to pick up these hints this girl is fucking giving you or throwing in front of you in hieroglyphics, and you're going to be able to capitalize on that opportunity. I would say. You get what I'm saying? There's again, this is a guys being in a place where you can be in a relationship is a process. Okay, it's about finding yourself and understanding yourself, and until then, man, oh man, oof, man, you're gonna have a really hard time. You're gonna have a really really hard time. It's like wanting to do like it's like wanting to do a Rubik's cube and you're not very good at at word puzzles. It's like
Yeah.
get good at word puzzles. Move up to that point. Don't try to just skip everything in between and think.
But
I mean,
also,
sometimes I
like,
don't know.
if it's out from what I've read, and it's a long thing. I might have missed something here. It sounds like they have a class together. They don't really hang out. They started to socialize a little bit. She noticed that he was talking about something she's into. They like, they have this meet cute as it's called. Clearly, she likes you. She's inviting you to hang out with her friends. In it, he expressly worries that if it falls apart, it'll like damage their group of friends. Then he'll have to leave, and then he won't have any friends anymore. My friend, this is what you, in my opinion, go meet her friends. Be yourself. Be honest with yourself. Learn to enjoy yourself because clearly this person already likes you. Hang out with them, socialize with them, create a group of friends. If something progresses with you and this girl, awesome. If nothing progresses, too bad. But you should go for it. Go hang out with them. Go be friends with them. See if something develops with this girl. Try and like hang out with her and the group of friends, and then maybe like go and hang out with her afterwards for a little bit. Like if you're all together doing something, and the group's splitting up, be like, I'm gonna go get some coffee. So and so, you want to come with me? Boom. Then you go get coffee and you talk about elf runes and whatever. Do that sort of
Um,
thing, and join the situation and just take it chill, take it slow, but do get involved. You can't just sit on the sidelines forever.
and don't be upset or worried or anxious or anything like that if you get involved with this group of friends decide to start dating this girl, and then you break up and you aren't in that group of friends anymore. Don't look at that. I mean, it hurts to lose friends. It hurts to be involved in a group of people and feel connected with these people and part of something, and then suddenly the dynamic of your social life changes and you're no longer a part of that. I've been through that, and that sucks. But the thing is that if you work on the things that I was talking about earlier, if you're working on your social aspects and everything, this is an opportunity to really fine tune your social aptness, if that's a word. If it does fall through, if it doesn't work out, you can take what you've learned here and apply it to the next group of friends or a new group of friends or getting involved with other people. There are 7+ billion people in the world. And while you may like these people, they are certainly not the only group out there. And there are going to be other people that you're going to meet. You're going to have other relationships. This is a natural thing. These are not the end all be all. So if you do decide to go with these people, you get along, you're dating this girl, it works out. And then for whatever reason, it folds and she gets them in the divorce, so to speak. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You might have to start over with a new group of people.
Social anxiety not to worry
social
about
aptitude. Thank you. Yes, social aptitude.
It's hard to. It's one thing to say. It's hard to do it though. Like what sort of advice could you give someone other than don't be anxious about this? Like let's give them some steps.
I think understanding what you're getting involved in takes a lot of that anxiety away right off the bat. If you're going into this going, oh no, what else? Whoa, you're gonna ruin that shit before you even get involved. You're gonna be, I don't understand. I don't, that kind of thing. I would really, 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 I think it's very beneficial to understand that things can go wrong in relationships and being able to cope with that and being able to cope with the fallout of it and understanding it beforehand. Does that make sense? Because I think that understanding of the natural evolution of relationships and progress in your life, I think when you understand that when these things happen, it's not as bad. It doesn't hurt as much. It's the difference between understanding like I'm going to, how am I gonna say this?
I think you're really onto something here, man.
Okay.
For some people who have like I don't want to say real as opposed to other people, but like for people who have clinical social anxiety, that's one thing. For someone who's like, I'm nervous about asking out a girl because it's never worked successfully before, your anxiety is stemming from not understanding the fallout of things, and you need to. I don't know what. Damn it! I lost it. Sorry.
It's not the end of the world. It's really not. And how about this? How many of you guys in the chat or Neil, you were just talking about this girl that you were so involved with, and you were with her for a year and a half, and like all this stuff, and it was a bad relationship, and you don't even realize this when you're in it, right? You're trying, you're giving it your all, and all this stuff, and then when it breaks down, it hurts you, man. It hurts. Oh my God, how am I ever gonna get over this? But the thing is that you're gonna learn more from your failed relationships, whether they're romantic or not, than you are from caging yourself in this emotional trap while you're trying to experience it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Am I saying that right? So getting just look back on your past. If you've ever had past relationship, I've had, they were so important at the time. Now I look back and I'm like, who the fuck was that person? Why was I even with her? You're going to laugh about it. I laugh about my old relationships and the relationships I'm with. The relationship I'm in now is by far the most amazing thing I've ever been in. And I look back at my other relationships and I laugh at past Ellohime, and I say, you stupid idiot. Wow, you spent that much time worrying about that person? She's a piece of shit. You knew it all along. You just didn't have the courage to fucking think that, you had any self-worth outside of what this person thought of you.
That is the best way I've ever heard that put. Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, seriously.
These things that you're getting involved with, these girls you're meeting, these friends you're meeting, this is all part of a process. It might work out great. You might fall in love with this girl and get married to this girl, and you might love these people for the rest of your life, and that's great. But when it doesn't work out, you need to be ready for that too, and you need to take it as a learning lesson. People don't get better. The what's his name? The chess guy. He's the like master chess player, and the most badass, most master chess player. There's Grandmaster. I forget his name currently, just right off the top of my head. His win rate is only like 60-something%. Okay. Even though there's somebody at the top of their game, the most dedicated, skilled person, still only wins like 60% of the time. So when you relate that to relationships, something way more complicated than just a game of chess, you're dealing with a really, I mean, you're going to get rejected. People out there that feel like, oh no, she rejected me. Oh, you're like throwing up over that shit because it's anxiety, so much anxiety. Don't even worry about that. Doesn't even matter. Fact is that you're going to get rejected 50 times, and then that one girl's gonna say yes, and you're gonna be able to do something with that. And then, like I said, it's a process. It's a learning experience. You get better by failing, and almost everything you get better by failing. A lot of the most successful people in the world have a history of failing. It's just how they approach that failure that makes them people, that makes them better at getting involved.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I mean, again,
the long and short of it is you should pursue this avenue and not worry about it too much.
Don't even worry about the girl in the relationship avenue. You should pursue this just for the ability to start getting around other people and getting to know people and enjoying that. The interaction. Neil and I are doing a show together right now. Neil and I have met at PAX East. One time we hung out. We've talked a little bit in between. And I'm enjoying my relationship with Neil right now. We're enjoying something. We're sharing something. We're having fun.
You're
everything.
Enjoying something and sharing something.
Yeah. And then, because you're just barely making it through this. So.
I'm really regretting asking you to do this with us. It's really just Christopher's fault. He pushed me too hard, But see, Ella's still getting something out of this. Look how much fun he's having, even if I'm not. See, you could be that man too. Don't you want to be Ello?
Please don't say yes. Please don't. Please don't. Oh.
No, but yeah, I think that's a better point. I think forget the girl. You're in a position where you actually need the social interaction more than you need the girl stuff. Forget about dating her. Use that as an in to make some new friends and whatnot. And probably, if the friend things go well, she'll be like, oh yeah, I introduced this guy, and now we're all friends with him, and he's really cool, and I have this crush on him, and I can't find a way to date him. And then she'll be the one like trying to chase after you. So forget about the girl. Just count her as a friend. Put her on your friend list. Or your friend zone the girl, and then just hang out with her and her friends.
But if things start working right, you can take her to Mamodo. Yes. Oh, the ring, my precious.
Oh, I didn't even catch it. I was like, I don't understand why we're talking about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, because they're like doing runes and stuff back and forth. Yeah, man, you should set her up on like a quest, man. A quest to your bedroom. Like, give her a little clue in hieroglyphics. Give her little clues in hieroglyphics. Like, follow the trail. And then, oh, dude, if you fall in love with this girl, imagine the ring. The one ring. Come on, like, it could be awesome. Okay, fuck our advice. Go for it. Go be in love with this girl. Get some Lord of the Rings shit going on. You can make everything Lord of the Rings, even sex. You can be like, oh, hey, Arwen. She's like, oh, hello, my Aragorn. And then you guys can talk really weird to each other, but never have sex, just like Aragorn and Arwen do. It'll be awesome. It'll be great.
Arwen and Aragorn have sex? They have kids.
Yeah, but not really. I mean, they have
off screen, but yeah.
She might be hot, but I don't think elves have fun in bed.
Don't they have kids? Don't they have offspring?
They're like stoic. Like she's like while you're doing her, she's gonna be like, oh, yes, that does make sense. Yes, logic. Oh man, I'm feeling something somewhere. Yes, I just orgasmed. Like that's an elf orgasm. Like that's pretty much it. Like they're not very. So I don't consider them having sex. They have intercourse.
Yeah. Okay. They have intercourse. They did produce a single son and 2 unnamed daughters. Because Lord of the Rings.
Look at that! They're so boring. They don't even name their kids.
Yeah,
like that's how bad it is. Like my sex is so bad, I don't even name the kids when I get my wife pregnant afterwards.
Yeah,
like Aragorn is like, listen, I really like the kind of person. I like how you look. But god damn, girl. I mean, like our sex life is real lame. I'm just saying, dwarves, on the other hand, I bet dwarves have mad crazy sex. Like they have the best sex. But that brings up a point. Why aren't there more female dwarves? Like why are the dwarves dying out? They're having the best sex around. Humans are just kinky, but dwarves are having fun. They let their women grow beards. They're pulling on that shit. They're drinking. They're fucking winches and shit. I love it, man. This is great. I'm just saying. Fucking elves, man. Boring. Good to look at.
Elves. Boring. Yeah. So you should either be friends with them or date her. The point is you need to go for this thing, whatever it is. One way or another, it's going to be an amazing experience for you socially. Plus, college is the time to try things and get out of your escape the bounds and confines of high school and do new shit. Go for it. The very worst thing that could possibly happen is you are in the exact same position that you are right now.
I know why.
That is the exact opposite, or worst thing that could happen. Why do dwarves?
I know why dwarves don't reproduce as much.
Why don't they?
Because their sperm rarely goes into the vagina. They're having so much fun; it's going everywhere else. Think about it. If you're having that much fun dwarf sex, and you guys are going crazy, like the boring thing is to go in the vagina, right? You're like doing it into her beer and she's drinking it, or like on her back, or like everywhere, like in her hair and her beard, Like, I'm just saying, like, no wonder they're not reproducing. This makes so much more sense.
And on that note,
yeah, okay.
We've seen enough for LoveBytes for today. Please, Twitch, do not cancel my account. Do not ban me. Go for it, guys. This has been LoveBytes. We're actually over our time for today, but how can you stop when Ello's going off like that? You just can't stop the show. No, there's nobody to apologize. But maybe we can have you back another time. How about that? Can we come back and do this again?
Yeah, man. I would be honored.
Good, because we barely got through a few questions. We have way too many left over. Like, we won't be able to handle next week the amount of questions that we still have left in here, and some of these are pretty good.
Neil, can we do one more question?
You know what? Why don't we take a commercial break? Okay, shit. The issue is that I have a call from a company regarding my wedding that I need to make. It's like a 10-minute call. So why don't we take a 10-minute break? No. Why don't we just take a 10-minute break? You go get another beer. Everyone at home thinks up their amazing questions. And we'll come back after 10 minutes after I make this call. And we'll do a few more questions. Because you have time, right?
Yeah, I got time.
Yeah.
I was going to go right into a stream right after this whenever this ended. So I'm good to go, man.
All right, let's just take a 10-minute break. And we'll come back and we'll do a few more questions. Because I don't want to stop this train.
All right,
I have to make a phone call. All right. So we'll see you guys.
Are you going to stop your broadcast?
Oh, no. I'm just going to put up a waiting screen.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not stopping the broadcast. What do you think I am, a noob?
All right. Well, maybe I'll flip on my broadcast for like 10 minutes and we'll chat it up, and then while you're away, and then
that's perfect.
Come back, we'll do that.
I'll hop back over to Ella's stream, and then I'll let him know when we're done, and then you all come back right here, okay?
All right, sounds good.
See you guys in a minute.